Okay, so it's a sunny day outside. I'm here with my friend Dean Ricks. He's awesome. And we're going to talk about, he's my guest on my show today, and I'm actually going to be hiding over here because, as you know, I'm allergic to the sun, so I'm actually going to be standing because the sun's not shining on me from there. I hate the sun. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions.
Cool.
First, I just have to say, your freaking outfit is badass.
Thank you.
He does a lot of DIY. I love doing DIY. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite things to do. And how long did that vest take you? That's freaking
This
amazing.
took me about 3 hours.
Wow, that's so cool.
Painting the whole thing, and then I printed out the back patches. I printed
show
you the back patches. I printed these out myself on my home computer.
Oh, cool. On his home computer. That's awesome.
And then just sewed them on.
Oh, that's badass, dude. That's
So-
cool. So you do a lot of your DIY. Like, that's going to lead me to my first question. So I know that you have an awesome store, which I'm also going to be modeling for, which I showed you guys a sneak peek before. So let's talk about the store and
right.
a little bit about that and what influenced you to do that.
What influenced me to do that is just the idea to do it. A lot of the shit I'm doing nowadays is because nobody's telling me I can't anymore.
Yes.
I mean, like, not to get too personal, but like, my parents tended to not be all that supportive, and like if my dad was still alive, the shop wouldn't have happened because I would have said, "Dad, I'm going to do this," and he would have said something like, "Well, people can do it better than you. Don't even bother."
Yeah.
And I would have said, "Well, I'm going to at least try." And he would have flashed me his "Don't be a fucking moron" look, and that would have been the end of that.
Man. Yeah.
Well, nobody's telling me I can't, so I'm doing all this shit.
Yeah, well,
now.
I love the spirit of the shop. I love the spirit of everything in your radio show, which we'll get to soon. Like,
right.
I just love, like, because it's very trad goth. It's very like, it's like all DIY. He does like his own stuff, and it's like amazing, and it's kind of cool because it reminds me of being like in high school. Like, I was into punk rock, you know, and then I got into goth music, and that's kind of like what, you know, where it comes from anyway, you know, where it like originated from. It's, I love my punk rock friends and goth friends because, well, it's like there's different styles and different people, but like when I hang out with my punk friends, like I feel like you guys are our brothers and sisters, and we just immediately, you know, and like I know you've been part of. I run a goth group in the Bay Area, and like you've been part of our group for a while now, and
a few years actually. It blew me away how long, dude.
It's
been here a long time, folks.
A long time. So let's foray into let's talk about your show, Moshed Potatoes, and I'll put all his links down below for his shop and Moshed Potatoes. And I want to know, like, what got you into that, and like and also like, first, what got you into it, and second, this is like a really broad question, but what are some of your favorite goth and punk music influences that you will be reflecting on the show and things like that?
My favorite goth and punk influences are, well, punk, of course, we got Dead Kennedys, you got Black Flag, you know, all the greats like that. Yes. Goth, same thing, you got Bauhaus, you got the Sisters of Mercy, you got the Mission.
Absolutely.
What I want to reflect on the channel is more, it's not really about me.
Right.
Because like I'm trying to just present artists I think are cool.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I joke that I'm pretending to be a music journalist. Well, that's exactly what I feel like. Because I don't think I'm a journalist. I think I'm just a guy.
Well, you interview musicians and stuff. Yeah.
I point a camera at guys I think are cool who make music I like. Like the newest issue of Moshed Potatoes that I'm working on right now, I just interviewed Dick Lucas from the Subhumans.
Oh my God.
Dick Lucas from the Subhumans,
awesome.
and also Jack Terrycloth from the World Inferno Friendship Society, which is another band on Alternative Tentacles, and they were touring together, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
But as far as what made me do the show, well, honestly, I just had the idea to do it, and my sister was a little encouraging. She goes, "Yeah, do it. I think it'd be great for you." And the show started out being just some asshole on YouTube, because that's what I wanted to reflect. Is like, I'm nobody special. You know, it's just like Joe Strummer. He chose the name meaning I'm just a guy up here playing the guitar. Any of you can do this.
You have such a passion for what you do, though.
Right.
You have such a passion. Like, where do you see it going? Like, what is your kind of like what's Moshed Potatoes all about? Like, what is
Moshed Potatoes is about trying to promote the punk and goth community. Moshed Potatoes, primarily for me, is about trying to ensure there is a next generation.
Yes, and like make sure that people like respect like the elders and the new people, and just like you can kind of like you know, juxtapose things together. Because I hate, like, one thing that I can't stand, and I'm sure you feel the same way, is when you've got like, you know, like elder people and baby bats and different people, and they all clash. It's like, shut the fuck up. We all are a family.
Word.
It's a family, and it's like, you know, I don't think people have to like certain music, but for me, like, even though I'm like younger and stuff, like, I personally love the 80s and 90s, but like, even if people don't like that type of music as much, like, I just try to get my friends to respect it and to just like know the history of where it comes from. And that's kind of like what it's about, you know? It's like you don't have to like this band or have to like that. And so what do you say to those people, especially some of you the elder people that are kind of like, pissing and shitting on like some of the youngins that are kind of like, I'm sorry I wasn't like this age in the 80s. I wish I was, but do you know what I mean? Like,
what I have to say to those people is very simple.
yeah.
These kids feel it just as much and just as deeply as you did when you were fresh in the scene. And on top of that, if you actually give a damn about the punk scene and the goth scene, you will encourage these kids, because without them, where's this gonna go, dude?
Yeah.
We need a next generation.
Yeah, we can't have the goth scene die or the punk scene die. Like, I still love it, and to me, it's not dead. Like, to me, there's so many deep roots, and like, even though some of our favorite people, some of my favorite people that I never got to meet, like, it's so sad. Like, it's funny because I have I have envy sometimes of people that are much, much older that got to like go to certain things or go to different clubs, and I'm like, damn it, but it's like I actually like a lot of the new goth stuff because it's kind of keeping some of the 80s stuff alive and 90s, but like I like some of the newer stuff too, like older and newer stuff. But yeah, I really love what you're doing. I hope you keep doing it, and I want to know I'm like babbling here, but it's weird because he's my friend, but I'm like, so I want to know what are you looking forward to, like, in terms of music, and also, just like interviewing? Like, who's somebody that you really want to interview musical-wise or fashion-wise or whatever?
Let's see. On the goth side, there's the big name, Andrew Eldridge. Yeah. Got to be there. Wayne Hussey. Who else? Peter Murphy. I tried to get an interview with,
my gosh.
I never heard back from Network Records. Fucking as far as the punk side goes, and again, it's just major people like Henry Rollins. Jello Biafra, who I think knows who I am, but I'm not sure. I deal a lot with Alternative Tentacles Records. Yeah. And because that's a lot of the bands I've interviewed. They're super cool. Alternative Tentacles is a kick-ass, cool label. I love those guys.
That's awesome.
And as far as like what I'm going to do in the future, well, I'm looking into, because I've never done it before. I'm looking into how to produce a show, as in like you get a venue, you get some bands in there, and you do a show. And what I'm interested in doing is trying to create some actual unity. Like one idea I have is just leave an open mic on the stage and say, whatever you want to say, step up to this mic and say it in between the bands, please. And just see what happens. I mean, try to get communication going. I don't care if your ideas are different. I don't care if your ideas don't match the crowd. Just say it, dude. Because I mean, I think it's really important that we all communicate. That we all.
I think there's a huge communication breakdown sometimes within the goth community. Sometimes,
and the punk community
and the punk
too,
community,
really.
absolutely. Like, and it's funny because I know everybody has different politics and stuff like that. And like, obviously, like a lot of punk is political, you know. And it's like. And it's interesting because I think we just need to, like, if people stop having conversations and stop having, like, passionate, conversations and just discussions, that things are going to just go bad. And that's where you have, all the things that are happening right now, with all the shootings. And it's just so sad, and brutalities and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. I'll definitely put everything down, and yay. Would you like to say anything else?
Ultimately, what I really want to do with this is, and this is from my heart, man, I hope that maybe I can get lucky enough that this form of music, this form of fashion, this expression, punk, goth, whatever you want to call it, touches someone else's life the way it touched mine. That is like my ultimate dream. The radio station I just started, Moshed Potatoes Radio, is having more success with that. I'm getting 11,000 listeners a month. And I'm trying to get, ad space sold on it so I can keep it going, shit like that. But ultimately, that's what it's about. It's not about me. The only reason you hear me a lot on Moshed Potatoes and see me a lot on there, and you hear my voice all the time on the Moshed Potatoes radio station, is because I'm the only one doing it. I haven't really involved anyone else yet. It's not that I like the sound of my own voice. But ultimately, and I can't stress this enough, it's not about me. It's about the music. It's about the community. It's about unity. It's about getting people together. It's about smashing the system. Is what it's about. It's about turning convention on its fucking head and having a little fun doing it. Is what it's about.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love what you said also, just about, like, just to touch on this before we end the interview. Like, I love what you said about things about, like how it's from the heart, and like, punk literally, and I'm not joking, punk rock and goth music and the goth scene and the punk scene, it literally saved my life when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
It literally saved my life. And some people that are into it for a fad, sometimes sometimes some of the reason why we get a little bit pissy and maybe elitist or whatever the fuck people want to call it is because for us it's like not a fad. You know, for a lot of people it literally saves people's lives. Like that's all. I mean, you know, when I was suicidal as a teen, or when I was going through domestic abuse, which I won't go into too much, it's like, you know, I didn't have anything to turn to. You know, counselors wouldn't listen to me. You know, there's only so much the cops can do, and it's like for me honestly, like rock music, punk and goth, like that's what I would listen to. It's some of my idols, some of my favorite people. When I would just be sad, I would just go home and cry and listen to my favorite records, or go to a show and just like veg out and just have fun with my friends and meet people like you and, you know, and different people. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Being a friend. You were freaking awesome. I'm so sad because this is our last meetup before I leave for kind of, I'm going more near SoCal, not completely to SoCal, but I hope that I can meet some more people there and make more connections in community.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give all your stuff out. So
and we're keeping in touch too, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't get that crooked.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sending you, so I'm excited. I can't wait to like model some more stuff, and like just represent. And I love that when I'm modeling it and when I'm talking about it and when I'm watching you or talking about you, it's more than like you or something cool and goth and punk. It's like, it's so much more deep, you know?
Right.
So that's why he's been a great friend. He is a great friend, and thank you so much. Thank you. So yay, goth love. Bye.
Ace.
Please subscribe.